Test, test, test.
Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. Mono, there we go. Okay. What's up, guys? Doing a little VFX and chill. I post this on the old Instagram. How's everybody doing today? What's going on? Y'all are funny. Alright. I'm trying to share this on my Instagram, but I'm stupid. Why can I not think of how to find this link? Aw, you guys are too nice. I appreciate the mustache hype. Come on. How the fuck do I do? Oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. The goal today is to see how fast we can get this live stream demonetized. I have copyrighted music playing, and I'm gonna be swearing all over the place. Later, we're gonna be talking about some very striking political issues. Alright. Let's get this shit started. Okay, so right now I'm going to be doing this little shot right here, this little number. It's a pretty straightforward shot. We got a little camera move. We got my buddy Matt, the actor in this movie, acting against nothing right here, so we're gonna have to put Scooty, the CGI character, in there, and we're also gonna have to replace the background. Thankfully, my favorite person in the world, Matt Cairns, who works at Corridor, has been helping me with this rotoscoping and background replacement, and this whole goddamn sequence, he rotoscoped it, and he's an absolute gem. So we're gonna be using that, but first things first, I'm going to use Premiere's Send to After Effects function. Let's see, do I already have After Effects open? Let me know, how's the sound? Is the music too loud? Can you guys hear me okay? I'm quiet. Oh no. Let's make me not quiet. Here, let me turn my gain up. How's that? Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Okay, After Effects, where are you, bud? Guess it's not open. Oh, yes it is. There we go. Oh, I already have a comp for this. What am I doing? Okay, so here's the shot. Oh boy. In After Effects, if you use the Roto Brush tool, which is their automatic, oh, I guess it loaded very quickly. Their automatic rotoscoping tool, it's very good. And, but you have to freeze it. Once you're done, you have to like lock it in place, and I haven't done that yet, and it takes a minute, so we're gonna have to wait on that. Freeze. What day is it today? It is Wednesday, my dudes. Yeah, kind of lost track of what is going on here. Oh no, is this gonna turn into a rotoscoping session? It might. It might. Oh right, yeah. Matt said he got almost everything done, but it looks like there's just a little bit left here. So, all right, let's do some rotoscoping. This is gonna be Premiere content. Okay, so we got a little rotoscoping tutorial here in After Effects. We're using Roto Brush 2. So, boost the gain a little bit more. Okay, you got it. Oh, it's gonna be real loud. Okay, hopefully that sounds good. Why do I call the bot Scooty? Is because the name of the scooter company that he's made from is Scooty. And so Matt's character starts referring to him as Scooty. Okay, so rotoscoping, let's do it. We're gonna open this up. Gonna open Roto Brush. Let's select Matt. We gotta do this at full resolution. What am I doing? Okay. There we go. Select Matt. I like to leave a little bit of the hair deselected. Actually, you know what? No. Okay, so make sure we got Matt. None of that. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to use the Refine Edge tool, which I didn't know about for the longest time. I don't know how I survived without it. It's amazing. Check this out. Okay, so we have Matt selected, but you know, we have these harsh lines on the hair here. But if I take my Refine Edge tool and just go like that, woo! I don't know how this works. It's absolute magic. It's amazing. I give Adobe a lot of crap because, you know, I feel like there isn't enough focus on stability in their software, but they have some amazing tools, and I'm very thankful for tools like Roto Brush. Somebody's asking how long the project is. It's about 18 minutes right now. Okay, so now I'm going to set the quality mode to best, and then I'm just going to hit spacebar, and I think it's going to be able to just do it, because it's like AI powered. It's amazing. Let's see how it goes. Might take a minute, because this is a long shot. Somebody's asking where I got my wide leg pleated trousers. Just a thrift store. Thrift stores have so many like high-waisted pleated trousers like that, all sorts of colors, nice earth tones, and it's a great look. I love the high waist. So I've been just splurging on a bunch of thrift store pants. Looks like we got some hair that hasn't been caught. So I'm just gonna go here and do a little bit of that. This music is turning really sinister. People are asking about Corridor. We're all good. I left to do some personal stuff, mainly work on this and work on a video game. And but we're still good buddies. We hang out all the time. And I'm actually going back in a couple weeks. I'm going to be working on Local Zero, which is a show for their streaming service. I'm very excited about. Going to be working on that with Sam and Nico. And the scripts are all written, and they're really funny and really good. And I'm excited to work on it, so I'll be back. Working on virtual production, eh? Good luck. Virtual production is a pain in the ass, but it's also the coolest thing ever, so good luck. Okay. That should be good. Let's see if we can just let this coast. Fellow SFSU alum, what's up? How's it going? Been to Cafe 101 anytime soon? People are asking where I learned all of this. Just tutorials. Just online tutorials and screwing around a lot. It helps when you're an introvert as a child and spend all of your time on a computer working on Blender and After Effects and stuff like that. You know, not having a lot of social energy just forces you to find ways to entertain yourself, such as Blender. So, and I love it, you know. If you love something, you just naturally want to do it, and if you naturally keep doing it, then you get better at it, and there you go. Somebody's asking about character animation. I've only learned character animation through doing it a bunch. Obviously, I did that Spider-Man short, and that was a lot of animation. I didn't even have a Rococo suit for that, or Mixamo, or anything. It was all hand animated, which was a huge pain, but it taught me a lot, mainly about the graph editor. In any 3D program you have, if you want to learn character animation or any kind of animation for that matter, learning the graph editor is the best thing you can do. Like understanding how the rotational values work in relation to each other, because most of the time when I'm animating, I'm not looking, I'm looking at the 3D view, but all the work I'm doing is in the graphs, in the XYZ plots, which show the motion and the rotation and that kind of thing, because that's where you can really dial in the look and do all the work. I haven't played with geometry nodes at all. I think I scattered one thing one time. I just haven't gotten around to it. I haven't needed it for a project yet. But they seem really cool, and I'm excited to check them out. Somebody's asking about Blender versus Unreal. Really depends on what you want to do. If your focus is virtual production and game design, then check out Unreal definitely. But if you want to be doing animation, right now I recommend Blender, because you just have more fine controls, as far as I know. Like, I have only been using Unreal for a little bit. I'm not very good at it, so maybe there are things I don't know about, but as far as like really having a fine brush with your animations, Blender's the way to go. People are saying I look like Ian Hubert. I guess I have subconsciously transformed into Ian Hubert over the past few months. Fuck. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry about that. Oh man, somebody's talking about Blender crashing with the CUDA address missing. I've been dealing with that a lot, unfortunately, especially with the new Blender with Cycles X, which is the renderer that's like 3 times faster. It's insane. I think it's just drivers being missing or whatever, just boring technical stuff. I don't know exactly how to fix it. Usually my steps are restart Blender. If that doesn't work, restart the computer. If that doesn't work, try it in a different build of Blender. If that doesn't work, maybe my GPU doesn't have enough memory to hold the entire scene, and sometimes that gives that error. So those are the things I've been going through. But like worst case, just open an old build of Blender that's reliable, and that should do the trick. I don't know how to use Clarice. What is that? And I forgot to mention update studio drivers. If you're doing any kind of VFX and you don't have NVIDIA GeForce experience, you get it immediately because it keeps your drivers up to date. I don't even know what drivers are. They're just like the code that runs your GPU, I guess. And it's all very interconnected with the drivers and the software you're using. And if your drivers aren't up to date with the software or vice versa, it can cause problems. So that's honestly the main thing to do. Don't listen to whatever else I said. Okay, now hopefully it can just run. Let's see. Looking good, looking good. This is crazy that the RotoBrush software is this good. Like 10 years ago, every single frame I would have to make adjustments, and now I can just set it and forget it. It's amazing. You guys like Minecraft music? It's like my main working music because it's so peaceful, it's not very distracting, and I don't know. I love the Minecraft. Fuck, I forgot. Damn it. I forgot to get this little bit of hair. I'm just gonna ignore that and then get it later. I don't know why I love the Minecraft music so much. One, I think it's just really good, like musically, but also probably because there's a certain nostalgia. You know, I grew up playing Minecraft. It's the best, and it was always a very relaxing experience. And so maybe there's some kind of subconscious effect there. Okay, if anybody knows any artists that are like Minecraft, the C418, the Minecraft music, let me know. I've been trying to find some. The best I can find is like the Stardew Valley soundtrack, which is also very peaceful. But you know, Spotify gives you those mixes or whatever, and I'll go on the C418 mix, and it's like some of the stuff is good, but a lot of it's no. Oh god. After Effects has this annoying bug where if you're using the RotoBrush and sometimes something happens where it gets fucked up, and then every single time you make an adjustment, it has to recalculate all of the previous frames. It's really annoying, so we gotta wait for that. But yeah, I always go on like C418 radio, and then like chill hop comes in, which no disrespect to chill hop, but it's like Minecraft music plus like lo-fi drums. And it's like that's not the vibe I'm looking for. I'm looking for like peaceful, serene synthesizers and pianos and strings and stuff like that. So let me know if you guys know any good artists. Nils Fromm, let's see. I feel like I've heard of Nils Fromm. In Stupendo. Thank you for the Rex. I'm going to definitely listen to all of these. Okay, let's try some In Stupendo. This is nice. I like this a lot. This is Icarus by Instupendo. Can you guys hear this? It's just coming out of my speakers. God, this takes so... No! This is the worst. I feel like I should just do this later. I should do the rotoscoping later since I'm live streaming. Yeah, okay. I'll just do that later, whatever. Okay. Alright, let's get into Blender here. So first thing I'm going to do is, there's a lot of lens distortion here, which can complicate VFX because, you know, basically the whole frame has a distortion twisting it this way a little bit. And so to do the visual effects, you undistort it, and then if you like the look of it, you can redistort it after. So in After Effects, I'm going to pop on Optics Compensation, and I'm just going to increase this until the lines are straight in the scene, which that looks pretty good. So there's the difference. And I'm going to resize a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to adjust the contrast and saturation for Blender so I can have a reference to look at while I'm doing VFX that isn't all decontrasty and desaturated-y. Okay, so I'm going to export that at 3rd resolution, just as like a JPEG sequence. Let's see, this is in the plane scene reference. My shot naming style is, you know, I should probably do like plane 06A whatever, but I just name it the dialogue that's in the shot. So this is I hate you _ reference 01. Copy that file path. Render that out. People are saying the stream audio is really quiet. Shouldn't be too quiet. I feel like I'm. I mean, I guess maybe I should get closer to the mic here. Let me move that a bit. How's that? Is that better? Future plans. Well, I'm gonna chill out for a bit because I've been doing visual effects every day for the past month. Just like I've been rushing to hit this deadline to submit this to a festival and South by Southwest, and the deadline was last night. I'm still working, but you submit a Vimeo link and you can re-upload Vimeo files, and the movie's like pretty much done. You know, if somebody watches it, they get it. All the VFX are there, aside from like 6 shots. Yeah, so you can re-upload the file. So I'm just doing some last minute VFX here. But after this, the plan is chill out for a little bit. Then I'm going to be working on Local Zero at Corridor, the series. And then I'd like to do some traveling. You know, I was planning on traveling, but coronavirus happened, so I couldn't do much of that. Now that we're easing up a little bit, I think I might travel. I'd like to go to New Zealand, definitely travel around Europe. I want to check out Oregon. and the East Coast a little bit. I don't know, everywhere. But yeah, at that same time that I'm working at Corridor, me and my roommate are working on a virtual reality game, which I'm very excited about. And I'm sure you guys will hear more about that in the coming months, but it's going to be really fun. I'm excited. And if you don't have a virtual reality headset, get one so you can play my game. Okay. What am I doing? Is this where I want to be? Where should I? Okay, I should open up one of the previous plane shots. Blender, let's see. Scooty dialogue, Blender. Okay, so I already have this scene pretty much set up, just with Scooty in here. Let me increase my UI size so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Whew. This coffee is hitting. It is a light roast, and I have had 2 cups, and it is now hitting me, and I'm starting to feel like lightheaded. Okay. Okay, so let's open up that movie clip editor. I'm going to bring in the scene. Where did I save that to? Okay, bring that in. Start that at frame 0, fetch all the frames so it doesn't lag when it plays. Set the scene frames. Get the audio out of here. Okay. Hey, somebody else is spinning to South by. That's very exciting. Congratulations. What's the movie about? Okay, so let's camera track this. Man, I have a head high from this coffee right now. This is a lot. Okay, so I'm just gonna add some tracking markers, set the match to previous frame. Don't know what that does, but it helps. Normalize. Boom, 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 boom. Place these on points of contrast. Okay, maybe one right here. There. Alright, let's see how that goes. Nice. So it looks like these are problematic. If you hit Alt-T, you can clear a track's path after the current frame. This one got jacked up as well. Clear that. Mustache tips, I don't know. Cut it off at the lip. That's all I got. Okay, let's throw some more tracking markers in here. This is the good stuff. Whew. Camera tracking footage, placing markers by hand. Very exciting. Just gonna place these on points of contrast in the scene. Stuff that's easily trackable at different depths and all around the frame is important. What is going on with these guys? Man, one of the trickiest things you got to look out for when you're tracking stuff is a lot of the time tracking software will think that the intersection between 2 things at different distances is something worth tracking. And you have to say, no, it's not. The data you get from that is going to be bad. Like you see this little guy right here. It looks like, oh, that's a good thing to track. You know, high contrast, strong shape. But that's not really a point in space. That's like the intersection of 2 points in space. So if the tracking software tracked that, it would give you errors. So you gotta avoid things like that. So the moment it starts losing it here, delete that, delete that, and oh, is this one okay? That one's okay. Okay, let's select those tracking markers we made, and let's track those. Control Shift T to track backwards. For people who have just joined, I got this shot of a plane, and I got to put a CG character in there, right here. That's what we're doing. Right now we're camera tracking. I was going to rotoscope the shot, but it was taking too long and boring, so decided to get right into the VFX. Let's make sure this one tracks. Okay, let's just see if that works. Not bad. Okay, looks like we're almost there. Oh, we're getting that little mistake here that I was talking about. Shift T to clear the tracks before the current frame. Let's just get rid of that one entirely. We're at a solve error of 1, which is great, but you always want to shoot for a little bit below 1. So my mom just sent me a congratulations message. It's very sweet. Thanks, Mom, if you're watching this. Somebody's saying the chair track is bad. Oh my god, you're so right. Thank you for that. Because, yeah, the chair's moving. It's not really connected to the background. Let's see if that fixes things. Hey, and that got us under 1. There we go. Excellent. Okay. Alright, what do you guys think the distance between these 2 points are? Like in meters. How far do you think this is? So we can set the scale of our scene. What did I do to fix the distortion? I, in After Effects, added optics compensation, which just stretches the image out. Half a meter? 60 cm? Alright, alright. Yeah, motion tracking in Blender can be a lot more frustrating than After Effects because it's a manual process, mostly manual process. But the control you get from it I really like, because then I can take these points and I can create them as like points in 3D space, which you can do with After Effects, but it's a little jankier and the scale's all over the place. Blender, you get like a clean import into your scene. The After Effects to Blender plugin is great, but it's still a little janky and I think it could use some work. So I like using the Blender tracker. But if things aren't interacting with the environment in your footage, then the After Effects tracker works fine. Okay, so let's say 0.6 meters here. Let's first set up our tracking scene. See how that, oh boy, there's already shit in here. Okay. Let's select this camera. Where's that camera? Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Where'd it go? I can't select it. Shit. Am I hiding it? Let's see, camera. Do I not have a camera in my scene? Is that it? No. What the heck? Somebody said the Blender tracking suite is very powerful and underrated. I agree. It's amazing. But it can be frustrating. As all things can be. Okay, what's going on here? I don't know where my camera is. I don't know what it's called, so I can't search for it. moved it to another scene. Scenes baffle me. I do not know what scenes do. Okay. What is happening? Tracking scene. Set up tracking scene. Yes, I did that. Where's the camera? Render layers. Render single layer. What is happening? Is it... Should just be in the view layer, right? God dang. Bro, I feel like a little baby right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm starting to sweat. I'm getting nervous. I'm gonna look like I don't know what I'm doing. What the hell? Where is this goddamn camera? An outline, change it to Blender file. Great idea. Camera. Fuck! Are cameras called other things when they're created from track data? Ah, here we go. Camera. Oh, yes! Why can't I select it? Okay, let me just delete these. God damn. Okay, so I found the camera, but I guess it's not in the current layer? Copy, paste, nope. Wow, I feel like such a dumb baby right now. View layers, foreground, background. Can you like delete layers? Hit setup background. I did do that. Thank you for all of your help, everybody. Check background layer. Okay, I selected it. Is that all I have to do? Double click. No. Objects, camera. I did that. See, I can find the camera. If I go to Blender file, here's the camera. I can select it. But it's not here. Somebody's asking what my favorite visual effects artist is. I don't have a favorite visual effects artist, but there are a lot of visual effects artists I admire. I mean, Ian is amazing, obviously. Select linked? No. Make local? No. Okay. Oh, what is this? Background. Get rid of that foreground. Okay. Thank you. There it is. Amazing. Y'all are the best. Okay, great. Woo! All right. Now we're talking. Now we can actually start doing VFX. Great. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna, and here I'm going to select all of these tracking markers and, oh wait, first I'm going to, I never know if I'm supposed to hit set scale or apply scale. I always just test it out and see what happens. Okay, 1.6, set scale, no. Oh right, I have to select this and this. Set scale, Maybe? Or is it apply scale? It's set scale. Okay, where's the camera? Oh my god, where's the fucking camera? Not again. What have I done? Whatever, okay. It's fine. I'm gonna select all these tracking markers. I'm going to turn them into a mesh. So now they're in the scene. And I'm going to select those. I'm just gonna add like an empty so that I can move this whole setup around. I'm gonna take those points in the camera, parent them to the empty. So now I can move around the whole camera track. Let's split the view here. Let's look at the camera view. Viewport clipping. Ah, very clever. Okay. So the camera's right here. Let's put it in there. Like that. Get it positioned in here. I like to use the 3D cursor to move things when I'm doing stuff like this, where I'm moving the camera around trying to match stuff up, because you can just select a point in the scene and just rotate around that, which makes things much easier. And the reason I'm not just placing Scooty in the shot without the plane present is so that the lighting is correct. We get the right ambient lighting coming in through the front and sides of the plane. Okay, I'm gonna get, what I should be doing is matching up these markers right here, so those sit against the actual places they're supposed to be. Okay, so that should roughly work. Let's move this back. Okay, for some reason, this is something I haven't been able to figure out. Sometimes you can, like, usually you can select the just the camera by like clicking on the edge of it, but sometimes that like doesn't work, and I'm not quite sure why. If anybody has an idea, let me know. Okay, I'm gonna say this is good enough. Whew, okay. This music is stressing me out. Alright, I haven't looked at the chat in a while. What's going on? Focal length, Blender should solve automatically. Question I don't want to answer. If it's about corridor, we're chill. I'm still working there, just more on a project by project basis. Because I'm, you know, doing stuff like this. Okay, whew. I got like weirdly stressed out for a second. Okay, where's the plan? Let's get rid of that. Cool. And now I'm going to take our little background here. The robot I made by myself. I basically just downloaded a bunch of 3D models of scooters and cut them up and bashed them together, and then I took that, brought it into Substance Painter, which is a fantastic like 3D painting, not like painting on a canvas software, but you can do things like detect the edges of things and add metal where there you can like drip rust down a 3D model, and it makes it look really nice. And you can like scratch off stickers and stuff like that. So here, let me show you what Scooty looks like rendered. There he is. Looks like our exposure is a little much. Yeah, so you can see we've got a lot of nice damage here. Alright, so what to do next? Okay, so this is looking great. But Scooty's animation isn't right, and his scale isn't quite right. So first thing, I'm gonna just increase the scale of this a little bit. Looks like we have some keyframes. It's so, I'm not used to doing everything on one monitor. I have the chat and everything on this monitor, so I feel a bit handicapped here. If you're doing VFX and you don't have a second monitor, get a second monitor. Okay. Cool. Alright, so now let's figure out the animation for Scooty. I've been using my Rococo suit for a lot of this animation, whenever it's, you know, human body type movement, as opposed to just, you know, facial animation, stuff like that. So yeah, I already recorded some of that. Let's import the BVH, which is the file type I use for motion capture. Let's go to, where did I save that? It's here. Bookmarks. Oh, I'm in the new Blender right now. I'm going to save that and open it up in the old Blender here. What would I normally have on my second monitor? In Premiere, it's my entire timeline, which is very helpful. And in Blender, I usually have like the outliner and mainly the graph editor, or like a second 3D view. It's very helpful. Oh no! Did I save that? Ugh, I'm an idiot. I didn't save it as a new Blender file. I'm a dumbass. Whatever. It's fine. I already rendered out those shots. Okay. Okay, well, let me save it now. Okay, so this is gonna be I hate you. Alright, let's import that BBH. Rococo support is fantastic. They've always responded the next day or the same day with help. And they're very helpful, eager to like get on a FaceTime with you or something. I mean, I don't know about if they would do that with everybody, but they've been very helpful and quick to assist. So great people over at Rococo. What am I doing? Scooty, VFX, no, assets, mocap, walking, sure you do, and it's gonna be really big, so I'm gonna do that again, and I'm gonna import it at 0.01 scale. Okay, so you can see we got our mocap data here. I do have 4 instances of Blender. This is, I don't know how long ago this is from, probably years. I'm rendering in cycles because it's, you know, trying to get that accurate lighting here. I can delete this. So, cool, okay. So now I'm going to select my armature that's controlling Scooty. And the best way I've found to do this is you just go to the dope sheet and open the action editor, and then you can just select it here. I'm not sure if there's a better way to do that. But now, if we go back to the 3D view, Scooty should have the motion capture selected. Cool, looking good. Okay. So now usually motion capture files, a bit of a difference in position and location for each one. So I'm just gonna move this around, make sure it looks good. Okay, so in this shot, when does it end? Let's set those scene frames. $260 frames. Okay. So Matt's character, Jake, says, "I hate you." And then Scooty says, "Sure you do." But I need to figure out when in the shot he says that so it'll line up with the dialogue. So let's hop over to Premiere here. I have this very high-tech solution for figuring out things like this. Let's see. Okay, so there it is. So here we go. So this is frame 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starts at frame 75. That's right. That's what I do. It's very, very high tech. So I'm just going to place a marker here. I'm going to name that marker. You can press M to create a marker in your timeline. You can press Control M to rename it. You have to select it. Sure you do. People are saying that was cursed. That's great. Okay, so let's just select Scooty. Oh, let me turn on. What the hell's happening? What is going on? Why can I not open my things? What the hell? Okay, I'm closing Blender. I'm gonna reopen it. People are asking about tips on animating with keyframes. Use the graph editor, and that's pretty much it. Just learn the graph editor. It's the best way to animate stuff. Okay, cool. So let's just take a look at Scooty, find a part of the motion capture data that we like, because I usually record a few different takes here. I still can't see my dang menu. What is up with that? So strange. Let me just close this. There we go. I could bring the audio into Blender, and I usually do, but for the live stream, it's too much work. Okay. So usually the last one I do is the best one, because I'll like do a motion capture performance that I'm satisfied with and then stop doing them. So let's see. So it's like, sure you do. And that's probably good. Oh, is there another? Nope. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go into pose mode, select all these bones, select their keyframes, and move that to frame 0. Now if I bring everything back in, we can fine tune the timing of this. Okay, so the sure you do should happen right here. Move that. That looks good. Cool. Great. I'm actually going to cheat Scooty's rotation a little bit. So that he's more looking at map. Okay, great. For final compositing, I use After Effects. You can do all this stuff in Blender, but After Effects has such an easy layer-based system where you can just jam stuff together real quick. Scooty too big? I feel like he's pretty close to the camera, so he should be pretty big. Yeah, that looks right. Maybe a little bit higher up, okay. The arms on the wheel, I'm not even gonna think about worrying about that, because it's not in the shot. Okay, yeah, this is looking pretty good. Let's see here. Looks like the eye line isn't quite matching up though. Scooty should be maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit lower. Okay. That doesn't work though. Okay, yeah, that's fine. There we go. Maybe I'll... Okay, because the eye line is a bit low here. Because Scooty would realistically be more like here, probably. But then later in the shot, he's too low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be lazy. And I'm just going to set a keyframe for his position here, move later in the shot, and have him just move higher up. And I don't think you'll be able to notice. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I think because Scooty's swaying around so much, you can't really tell that he's moving upward slightly. Okay, cool. So, now that we have the motion capture data all figured out, we're getting a little bit of jitteriness here, which is just the name of the game with motion capture. So, let's go in and fix that. Go into the graph editor here. Now there are a couple ways to go about this. You can either just smooth out all the keyframes, but then you lose a little bit of the like fine detail of the motion capture. But for something like this, like he's not really doing anything that bombastic, so yeah, that looks good. Great. And then Scooty's head, I like to make that a lot more animated than I can do with my own head, and the skeleton I'm currently using. So I'm actually going to delete all of these motion capture keyframes here. And I'm going to add my own. And it looks like my janky character rigging did not work out quite well. So instead of using this bone, I'm going to add an empty here. I'm going to control the head with this instead. Hey, Inspire FPV! What's up, dog? Inspire FPV helped me get some amazing first-person drone footage for Scooty. Eric. My best friend's Eric just donated $10. Thanks, buddy. He said to give myself some T-ball. I've been eating way too much Taco Bell, so I will be buying a salad. But I love you. Come hang out with me. Okay. But yeah, Inspire FPV helped me get some amazing drone footage for Scooty, which I very much appreciate. Okay. Also, sorry I haven't responded to your email. It's been crazy recently. I will get back to you. Okay, so the reason I'm changing this bone is because if I pivot it from here, from here, it's obviously not good. So I'm going to instead go in here, I'm going to disconnect this bone, which will send it over there. Then I'm going to move it back to there, get it positioned all nicely. Okay, now I'm going to go into the constraints, make this a child of this empty here. Cool, so now I can move that around, and then I'm going to parent this empty to this bone. Let me turn on screencast keys so you guys can see what I'm doing. Cool. Oh, thank you for the donation, Aiden. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. Okay, now that I moved the head forward, it looks like it's a little bit too forward, so I'm going to move it back a little bit. Okay, now let's take this empty, and for animating things, the first pass I like to do is usually I'll turn on automatic keyframing, which means right here, which means if I move it, it'll set a keyframe, then if I move it again, it'll set another keyframe, and then easy animation. So let's see here. At the beginning of the shot, he's probably looking at Jake. And you know what? I am going to bring the audio in. Let's not be lazy. So just do a quick export of the audio here. Okay, you know what? You guys want to see a scene from this? Let's do that. I want to show you guys something. I feel like I can't just be working on the VFX and not show you anything. So here's the export from last night. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Let me pause that. Let's go into OBS. Add a desktop audio here. Okay. Let's see, what's a good scene to show? I'll show a little bit of the chase sequence here.
Come on, I got places to be. Okay, please speed up. I'm very emotion to be brought right now.
The music is by an insanely talented man named Benjamin Squires. He's in the UK. We've been talking over email, and he's been working with me on this for months. Absolutely incredible. Like, his ability to like understand the tone that the music needs is amazing. Like, the first time I sent him over a cut of the film, I just sent it over. I didn't send any notes with it. And he sent me back a full list of like all the beats he would put in. Maybe I should just shut up and let you watch this. There's still a little work I need to do right here, obviously. Alright, there you go. Actually, no, I want to show you this part. It's so silly.
Jake! Scooty, I'm sorry!
The legs make me laugh every time. Okay, there you go. Anyways, so yeah, I was talking about Benjamin, the composer. I sent him over the cut, and he sent me back a full list of like the beats that he wanted to include, and it was like spot on with what the movie needed. It was incredible. So, if you got a bit of a budget and you ever need some music, hit up Benjamin Squires. I mean, obviously he's a professional. You know, pay him like what a professional would be paid, but it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's get this reference audio here. I always keep a, in my like VFX folders, I keep just a reference folder, and I'll export like image sequences there, or like photos, or audio. And it's just easy to have that laying around. Okay, so I hate you, ref 01. Okay, export that. There is the live audio in the background. What does that mean? Okay. Alright, I'm going to open up the video sequencer here. And I'm going to add in a sound. Cool. Line that up. Sweet. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little rough keyframe animation. So right now you can see I've just been placing keyframes haphazardly, and so the animation is very, you know, rough and sticky. We're gonna fix that up in a bit in the graph editor. We got another little look here. Oh, did I animate? I animated that on the goddamn wrong bone. What am I doing? Should be animating on this. Okay, here we go. Can you guys hear the audio here? Let me turn that up a little bit.
Sure you do.
Cool. Robot neck is broken.
Sure you do.
Yeah, it's just kind of like that. You won't be able to notice. It's fine.
Sure you do.
The robot voice effects is from a plugin called BitSpeak, which is fantastic. It's by Sonic Charge Audio. It's about $30, and it's really cool because, you know, as opposed to just like bit crushing the audio, it actually turns down the bit rate of the audio, so it sounds like it's coming from some old piece of equipment. It's fantastic.
Sure you do.
So now I'm just playing with the timing of this, moving the keyframes.
I hate you. I hate you. You. Sure you do.
What's up, Sam? Sam Dawkins is in the chat. One of my best friends from college and currently. And he's an excellent 3D artist. Just started in the last year. He's gotten so good. So definitely check out his Instagram. Sam, you have so many Instagram handles. I can't remember what your current one is, but post it and people should go check it out.
I hate you.
Also, come hang out with me.
Sure you do.
Okay, so now that we have the rough animation in our keyframes, I'm going to open up the graph editor. And so the main thing we want to do here is I'm going to isolate the rotational values. So this is the animation. This is what it looks like in the graph editor. And you can see that each axis is completely lined up with the other axes for the animation. And this doesn't look great for movement, because when you're moving your head, you know, the way you move this way isn't always perfectly going to line up with the way you move this way. Like, you're going to, if you turn your head, you're going to, how do I explain this? You're gonna like move it this way, but this rotation will finish before this rotation finishes. So you need to offset those axes a little bit to get it to look natural. So if you're in a bind and you just want to do this really quickly, you can just take one of the axes and just like displace it a little bit, and instantly that looks a million times better. But what I like to do is go into each axis and make sure the keyframes are natural. So things like this, where the music's getting a little loud. So we have right here the x-axis movement. It moves down and then back up a little bit, and it just kind of stays in the same spot. It just like locks right there for a second and then keeps moving back down. But that's not natural. Like, you know, nobody does that. So I'm just going to delete one of these keyframes, move this over, and extend it a bit so it acts as those two keyframes, but it has more of a natural curve to it. And then I'm just going to go through like smoothing all this stuff out. And then add a little bit of variation to the rest of it. Okay, so now that we have the x-axis finished, I'm going to do the y-axis. Same thing, going to clean up these keyframes a little bit, make it more natural. There is going to be behind the scenes for this. I'm going to be putting a lot of it on my Patreon. I've been lagging on the Patreon recently because I've been so busy, but now that the movie is almost finished, I have so much behind the scenes content and tutorials I'm going to be throwing on there. So. And then something I like to do for Scooty, because he's very clumsy and lanky, is I like to add a bit of a delay on this rotation of his head. So if he's turning this way, it's like you have this move like this a little bit while he's turning, just to give it a little bit of a little physics to it. So he turns this way. Let's add a keyframe. He moves like that. Okay, now let's do that Z rotation. Will I adjust the clipping wires? Probably.
Sure you do.
Maybe not. Oh yeah, definitely that one. Yeah.
Sure you do. 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 Sure you do.
Some rotation here is a bit jarring. I think it's the Y. Let's see. Yep.
Sure you do. Sure you do. Sure you do. Sure you do. Sure you do.
There we go. Am I using inverse kinematics? Only when Scooty is like interacting with things in the environment, like if he's putting his hand on a table, I'll use inverse kinematics for that. If you're not familiar with inverse kinematics, basically, forward kinematics is when you have your arm, and your arm bends this way, you know, like that, and then this part bends this way, this part bends this way. You know, the direction is always going this way, but inverse kinematics, you can reverse it so that it's being controlled as opposed from this direction, it's controlled from the other direction. So you set a point at which you want the hand to rest, and then that's locked. And if I move the body, then these two bones will move corresponding to how far away the body is, like that. So it's great if you have your character interacting with something like a table or feet on the floor or something. You can use inverse kinematics so that their hands or their feet don't slide around. It's very nice.
Sure you do. Sure you do. Sure you do. Sure you do.
Somebody's suggesting to add noise to the animation. I agree, definitely. It's usually the last thing I do, because if it's if there's like rotational noise going on while you're animating, it makes it difficult to see what you're doing. But let's see.
Sure you do.
Cool. So this is looking good. Thanks for everybody with for sticking with me through this. I know it's a bit of a tedious process. Let's move this so we don't have any clipping.
Sure you do.
Okay, great.
Hate you.
Somebody's asking when the mullet's coming. When I have the courage to do a mullet is when the mullet will appear.
Sure you do.
Okay, so now that we have the rough animation done, let's add some noise. Noise is great. It adds a little bit of life to your animations, because you know nothing moves perfectly and without resistance. So I'm going to go into the graph editor, select any of the axes of rotation for the head, and see we have the X, the Y, and the Z here. So I'm just going to select the X first, and let's add a noise modifier to it. You can see it starts going a little crazy. So I'm going to increase the scale of it.
Sure you do.
That looks good, and then I'm going to turn down the strength just so it's a little bit, and then maybe turn up the scale a little bit more. And then what I learned recently is if you add depth, it adds some complexity to the movements. So as opposed to being like this, you have a little bit more of that going on.
Sure you do.
All right. Oh, I'm adding this to the wrong damn thing. I'm adding it to the bone. I need to be adding it to this empty here. There we go. So usually I turn the strength of it up a lot just so I can see what I'm doing.
Sure you do.
Looks like Kramer from Seinfeld right now. Okay, great. So now I'm going to turn the strength down. Cool, that looks good. I'm gonna copy that to the Y rotation, change the offset a bit. And the Z, change the offset a bit. Looks a little bit too
Sure you do.
sharp right now, so I'm gonna turn that depth down.
Sure you do.
Cool, so that adds a little bit of life to the animation in a nice way. Great, now we have the eyebrows. Scooty originally didn't have eyebrows, but it was difficult to convey emotion purely through the lights on his eyes, and so I added these like brake pad, or like handbrake eyebrows, and they help a lot. And so how I animate those is I just go through, and I have this controller right here where this and this are copying the rotation of this empty right here, but on this one the Y or Z axis is flipped or inverted. Turn my mic up again. Is it really that quiet? How's that? Is that better? Is that better? Okay. So, excuse me if I make some weird faces while I do this. It's I always act it out with my eyebrows. It's amazing the amount of human expression you can get purely through animating eyebrows. Like, if he's sad, you know, go like that. If he's angry, like that, obviously. If he's surprised, like that. But the really cool thing is that you can combine emotions. Like, if you want him to be surprised and sad, you raise the eyebrows up and then twist them like that. Or surprised and angry is like that. There's just so much variety you can get purely through the eyebrows. It's amazing. Cool. Great. Yeah, I'm loving this. I feel good about this. Okay, great. What's next? What else needs? Oh, the eyes. So yeah, I also have a setup here where you can see I have I did this in probably the worst possible way, but I have a different material for each of these little eyes, but it's mirrored for the other eye. So you can change the expression by changing which eyes are lit up. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all the keyframes for that right now. Cool. And I want Scooty to look happy, so I'm gonna do like as if he's like kind of like squinting like this. Maybe I'll try that, where the middle one's on and the bottom two are not. But that looks a little bit more like he's like going like that. So let's try maybe that. That looks very happy. Yeah. And sometimes I'll like change the expression of the eyes throughout the shot, but this one, he's just like purely having a good time. I think we can just leave it at that. Cool. How do I keep my files organized? I'll show you. So I organize these by scene. It's probably a bit hard to see. Let me see if I can scale that up for you. Okay. Hopefully I don't have any personal stuff on here. Okay. So yeah, I have it organized by scene, and within each scene, let's see. Break up. Within each scene, I have an after. I learned this way of organizing through Corridor. This is how they organize their stuff, and it's a good way to go. For each scene, I have an After Effects folder, a Blender folder. This has a mocap folder, but usually it's just like an assets folder, a reference folder, and a render output folder. Render output is purely like the renders that are coming out of your 3D software, like the image sequences and stuff. And then a renders folder, which is like the final rendered shots. That's a nice way to keep your files organized. So, anybody know the command to like have in OBS your thing fit the screen? I don't feel like scaling it. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay.
I hate you. Sure you do.
Cool, so now let's dial in that lighting that we have. Now that we have the animation all good to go, I'm gonna bring this plane in here. Alt F4, thank you. So, let's see. You can see we have the plane affecting the lighting but not visible in the scene, and the way you do that is you go over to the object panel. Under visibility, you can set whether it's visible to the camera, but you can have it be not visible to the camera but also visible to all of these other processes like the diffuse path and the glossy path, and etc. So it's influencing the lighting on the environment, but it's not actually visible in the render, which is very helpful. And you can see we have this set to a shadow catcher. I'm going to negate that. So I do want to be able to see the seat, but only this one. So let's just go in here. I'm going to separate this into a separate object and have that not be visible to the camera. Same for that, and we don't want, let's see how we're looking. We don't want this stuff either. Something really helpful that I found recently is you can like select something in Blender or hit a checkbox or whatever and then right click it and do copy to selected. And so now, not just the active object, but all of these objects will not be visible to camera, which is very helpful. Somebody's asking how I only selected that one chair within edit mode, I guess. And basically, I just box selected most of it, and then I hit Control L to select what's linked, like the vertices that are connected to the selected vertices. Okay, so let's match this. Looks like the exposure is off a little bit. Match that. It's been challenging matching the exposure of Scooty in these scenes because he's like a very dark color. He's black, obviously. And so it's been difficult to know how dark he should be in the frame, because, you know, you want your character to be visible, and so oftentimes I would like bump up the brightness so that you could see Scooty, but then it wouldn't look right, and that's because, oh, he's too bright, so I actually have to take it down a little bit, so it's like physically accurate. It's probably something around there, I'd imagine, matching the hair. Oh, people are saying you can also click on the box while holding Alt to do the same thing. That's great. Didn't know that. Okay, so I think we're almost ready to render here. Last thing I'm going to do is just figure out the camera depth of field. So in the camera settings, I'm going to enable depth of field. Probably like 2.8 is good. And then in the beginning of the shot, it looks like the focus is on matte. So you can right click when you have your camera, when you're looking through the viewfinder of your camera, you can right click on an area and select depth of field distance pick. And so now if I just click on this area, it'll be focused there. And you can see that reflected in the distance right there. For compositing, I use After Effects. I don't really use Blender for compositing. I'm sure it's great, but I use After Effects. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, so towards the end here, I want Scooty to be sharp as well. So I'm just going to fake this a little bit at the beginning here. Let's set a keyframe for the distance of the focus. And then at the end, set another keyframe for right here. Somebody's asking about render engines. I use Cycles. Lately I've used Cycles X a lot because it's so fast and it's amazing. Okay, great. I'd say this shot is almost done. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is add a little cloth simulation to these wires right here. Just a little baby cloth sim. Oh, also I'll delete these. As far as consistency and continuity with Scooty and the way he's built, I've just thrown that out completely. In some shots he'll have pieces that he doesn't have in other shots, and I don't think you can tell, so whatever. Okay, so for cloth sims, we're going to need to pin some vertices of this. So, you know, obviously, if we hit cloth simulation right now, it'll just fall. Or I guess not, because it's already... What the fuck? Huh. That's weird. There aren't any vertex groups specifying that this should be the pinned area, but it's pinned anyway. Whatever. This looks good. Looks a little bit too stiff, though. Using Octane for Blender? Why? Why? It's the same shit. There's no good reason. It does the same thing the Cycles does. Thanks, Owen. Good luck on your VFX. So right now I'm just changing the stiffness of the wires to make it look a little nicer. I'm actually going to add some more vertices here. There we go. Now we're looking more floppy. Nice. Damn it. I was hoping it wouldn't clip. Okay, set this to collision. See how that works. Oy, not great. Maybe I'll just ignore it and hope nobody notices. That's always a good way to go. I've been doing 3D for, I think I started when I was like 12 or 13, so it's like 10 years. Oof, that clipping is rough. Maybe I can just move this a little bit, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Love me some lazy solutions. If you're trying to get into Blender as a beginner, I recommend Andrew Price's tutorial. It's the best one. I mean, I don't know if it's the best one, but it's like the best, most accessible and reliable and quality beginner tutorial. Blender Guru. Okay, I think this cloth sim is good. Let's bake that. All right. All right, we got a minute here. Any questions? He's clipping into the seat as well. Thank you. I will address that. Oh, he is clipping into the seat. Is that visible though? Yes, it is. Thank you. Okay, I think we're looking good here. All right, let's do a little render test, see how it goes. Okay, so obviously this is janky, but yeah, this is looking good. Great, yeah, I don't see any problems. So I'm doing all my work in Blender 2.9, and then I'm gonna open it up in Blender 3.0 to render it, because Blender 3 is obviously much faster, but 2.9 is more reliable. So yeah, it looks like we're still getting some clipping in the neck. So I'm just going to shift this a little bit and be lazy about it. Or, you know, I'll just move this. There we go. Why spend time on things when you can just be lazy? And no one will know the difference. Somebody asking about the music. This is Bonfires by Slime Girls. And I do like it, I should say this. So I did. Cool. Okay. Let's test out our render real quick. Ooh, gotta make sure motion blur is on. Cool. Alright, let's turn compositing off. Make sure we're on single layer. Cool. Alright, let's give this a go. Oh, and resolution. We're going 3840 by 1634. I'll render at 50% resolution. If you're building a PC for this type of thing, I wish I knew what to tell you, but I know nothing about building PCs. My friend Caden helped me build mine. God bless you, Caden. I mean, yeah, get a good computer. I don't know. Okay, yeah, this is looking good. I think we're all set. I'm gonna render this motherfucker. Actually, let me. Let's look at the noisy image. I like to check out the noisy image. Looks like we're a little bit noisy because if you denoise a noisy image too hard, it can just start to look all warbly and not great. So I'm going to turn up the samples here. Let's see how that goes. Cool. That's looking pretty good. Alright, I'd say we're done. I think it's time to render. Hitting Control F12. Wow. I feel like this went so much slower because I was live streaming. I was supposed to get more done today. It's okay. But yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. If you guys have any last things you want to talk about, hit that right now because I'm about to go pee. I've had to pee for about 2 hours, and I'm gonna have a beer probably. And what time is it? It's 6. Let's chill. And yeah. Oh, I did see Ian Hubert's Shaky Cam plugin. It's amazing. I haven't used it yet because I've just been locked into this, but I will be using it shortly. I do like Eevee. Eevee's great, but you know, for stuff like this where I want it to look real, Cycles is, you know, it's a physically based renderer, so that's the thing to use. But for like just fun animations, Eevee's great. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a stressful month. I've just been doing nothing but eating, sleeping, and doing VFX for a whole month, trying to get this thing ready. And it's finally like a day away from being ready. So I'm feeling great. Very excited to start exercising again and start eating well again. Because I've just like totally let my health degrade over the last month. But yeah, I got a full night's sleep last night for like the first time in forever, so I'm feeling good. Yeah. I don't really go live consistently. It tends to only be when I'm in a certain mood because I tend to be very introverted. Which people think that means that I don't like people or hanging out with people. I love people and hanging out with people, but I find a lot of peace in solitude. So a lot of the time I just don't want to go live. But sometimes I have a little bit too much coffee and I'm like, I'm going live. So, yeah. This isn't freelance work, this is for a short film I'm working on. It's going to festivals right now, but I'll probably, I can't release it online because of festival rules, but in a few months I'll probably put it up. Am I going to save this? No. So if you want to watch it later, make sure to put it in a playlist or something. How many frames am I rendering? 260, I believe. And let's do some fast math. 260 frames at 22 seconds per frame. It's gonna take an hour 30 to render, which is great. You guys seen the new James Bond movie? I'm excited. I want to go see it tonight, but I should keep working on this. I'll probably see it tomorrow. I love me a good popcorn movie. You know, me and my roommate Riley, and who plays Scooty in this, we always talk about how there should be 2 rating categories for movies. It's like purely Rotten Tomatoes or like Metascore or whatever just does not sum up a movie well enough. Because there are plenty of movies that are like technically like bad or not very sophisticated movies that I have an amazing time watching. And so it's not fair for a movie like, I don't know, what's like Fast and Furious whatever, to get like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes because it's not like cinema. But it's still a great experience. And so there should be the like cinema rating and the fun rating. Because yeah, like Rise of Skywalker, the last Star Wars movie. I had a fantastic time watching it. It was great. I was engaged the whole time. I had my popcorn. It was just so fun. And was it an amazing story or like cinematically groundbreaking? No. I mean, some like the blocking in that movie, the sequences and the way they're constructed is incredible. Like J.J. Abrams is so good at just creating like camera moves and staging and stuff like that, and I really admire. It's similar to Brad Bird. I admire that style. But I had a great time watching it, and it just got slaughtered. And it's like, it's not the whole story. There's no nuance to just a percentage, you know. I have never watched the show Friends. I just started watching Seinfeld, which is so good. I can't believe I hadn't watched it before. It's fucking hilarious. If you haven't watched Seinfeld, I highly recommend it. I'm excited for Dune as well. I think that comes out soon, right? Is it already out? Cameron, are you watching right now? My producer slash good friend Cameron Bonham just texted me, said he's watching the live stream. And he asked me if I wanted to see a movie tonight. The Last Duel. I'm so excited for. It's the Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Ben Affleck movie. I forget who else is in it. It looks so good. Yes, Cameron, I would love to see it. Midnight Mass I have not seen. My roommate watched it. He really liked it. I'm not much of a horror guy. I have so much anxiety and stress like normally that the idea of entertainment that evokes that emotion just does not sound interesting to me. Like, Cameron, you asked me if I wanted to go to Halloween Horror Nights, which is like, love going and doing things with friends, but like going to a place to be scared, it's like it does not sound like a good time to me. I have so much anxiety, like, I'm good. Looks like the showing's at 7:15. Damn, yes, dude. Dune 4K is on torrent already. That sucks for that movie. I used to torrent so much stuff. Don't tell. People are asking about graphics cards. I have a 2080 Ti. It's a few years old, but it does the job. And renderers are so fast now, like, I only really need to render that fast when I'm in a pickle or something like that. Like, this is totally fine. And Riley has been letting me use his computer as a render station, which has been great. We have our computers connected via Ethernet, so I can just, like, get the files super easily. I am doing denoising. It's denoising as we speak for every frame. And I'm not doing freelance. I mean, like, some things have come up where I've done some freelance, but it's not like I'm looking for freelance work. I'm mainly just working on stuff like this and doing YouTube videos and stuff like that. Yeah. But I am going to be doing a project with Corridor in a couple weeks, which I'm very excited about. And it's not 8K, it's 1080. It's, I've noticed, like, with CGI, you never really need to render in 4K because, you know, you're gonna have to blur it a bit anyways, because if you're mixing it with footage, because footage naturally has a little bit of blur always. It's not like perfectly pixel crisp. And so what's the point in rendering out 4K and then blurring it to match your footage? Like, just render out 1080p. It's fine. No way. Someone's saying on Black Panther and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles they rendered half res and upscaled in comp. That's hilarious. I wouldn't think that for huge movies like that you would do that, but I guess you're under the same constraints that we all are. That's hilarious. I know they did that in Ex Machina, the movie. They shot the VFX shots at a lower resolution so that the CG would blend better. Excited for any new film? I mean, obviously the new Spider-Man. Can't wait for that. What else? Yeah, I'm really excited for Dune and The Last Duel and No Time to Die. It's all good stuff. We're getting a lot of movies these next few weeks. Black Panther was mastered in 2K. What? What? That's wild. Huh. The new Batman trailer? I thought it looked cool. It's like, I mean, it looks awesome, but it sort of fell into the trope of like, I'm very serious and dark and gritty and like, I'm vengeance. It's like, I feel like if you really are vengeance, you're not gonna say that you're vengeance. Like, that has a lot of ego in it. You know, it's like, anybody who says they're vengeance, it's like, oh, they want you to think that they're vengeance. You know, it's a little bit, I don't know, like, immature or something. But, I mean, it looks awesome. I'm very excited for it. Posture check, thank you. I have horrible posture. I am only using one graphics card, just the 2080 Ti. I have seen Zodiac. It's a great movie. If you're in the mood to have a bad time, watch Zodiac. No, not have a bad time. It's a great experience watching that movie, but it's very, like, really gets under your skin. It's great. The 3090 was Corridor's 3090, not my 3090. Another fan film? Probably not. If I'm gonna be making anything now, I want to be able to own it and distribute it. And if I'm making a fan film, then, you know, I don't own the rights to that IP and can't do that. Somebody's saying Batman will be an adaptation of Zodiac. That sounds cool. Wow. Oh wow, Cameron, that's very kind. Thank you. I'm actually, like, just about to finish the VFX, but I really appreciate that. That's really cool. What was it like working on Chappie? I heard that, like, artists would spend months on one shot painting out the actors that were to be replaced with the robots. That sounds like a nightmare. For this, I just didn't have the actors in the shot. I was like, yeah, I would just film the background without the actors. And a lot of the time the background is full CG anyway. But I guess for, like, a big movie like Chappie, where, you know, you have a character on set acting against other actors, you need to do that. I started learning VFX around age 11. Yeah, I was making movies just on, like, my family camera, and I wanted to be able to put, like, gunshots and stuff in it, so I started learning After Effects, and then a few years later I transitioned over to Blender, and I've just been doing that for the past 10 years, and I've accumulated some knowledge. Plans for the future, gonna be traveling, doing some work with Corridor, gonna be working on a video game. Me and my roommate are working on a virtual reality game, and yeah, it's exciting. I really want to get into, like, leather working or something, or woodworking, you know. I've just, you know, I'm obsessed with TikTok, and I'm on it all the time, and I love how it shows you people whose lives are so much different than yours. You know, like, I'm exposed to the intimate, I don't know, minutia of, like, people's lives who just have different professions, and I always see people who work with their hands, like leatherworking and woodworking and stuff like that. And I don't know, I'm probably, like, romanticizing it in my mind, but the idea of just having a craft that you just, like, you're not looking at the screen, and you're just, like, working with your hands, and it feels very zen, and once your work is done for the day, your work is done, and you don't have to worry about it, and that sounds really nice, so I might pick up a hobby or two. Clay sculpture, that sounds fun. I'll have to do that. And creative burnout is definitely a real thing. I mean, like, you know, we're making movies, it's not that hard. You know, people have real jobs, but I definitely get burned out, and a good way to combat that is having other hobbies, or just having multiple creative projects at the same time. Like, I really do love working on this kind of thing, and the ability to, like, work on something like this. Oh no, we got the CUDA error. Shit. The ability to work on something like this, and then once you get tired of it, just jump over to, like, I work on music just for fun, work on the music for a little bit, and then by the time that gets boring, I get to hop on back over to this, and just having multiple things brewing at the same time helps have the spice of life and keep that dopamine flowing. Spider-Man Lotus fan film? What is this? Spider-Man Lotus teaser trailer. Oh, that's a really good looking suit. Wait, is that CG? No, no. Wow, that looks fantastic. Cool. Cool. Great looking suit. What material is that? Getting those little puffy dots. I had to fucking puff paint the whole suit to get those little dots. It was torture, but it looks like they used an actual material for this. That suit looks absolutely fantastic. Wow. Great eyes too. It's funny, once they introduced the more I don't know, feminine looking eyes, or like the makeup looking eyes. I don't know, just this style. And Homecoming, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's the one." Like all the other ones have just been abandoned, and any new Spider-Man design now is just using those eyes because they're the best. They just look so good. This looks cool. Very exciting. Main theme. Ooh, I want to hear the theme. Sounds great. Nice. Good stuff. Solid. Okay, let's see if we can get that render going again. Looks like it went up until frame 41. I'm not gonna do my own React series. Can't rip off my bosses. Ronin 4D looks insane. Looks amazing. I would love to get one. Blender Guru Deepfake, I have not seen that. It sounds interesting. I have used Element 3D like once or twice. It's good, but you know, if you know another 3D software, why not use that? Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna have to render this on the other computer. Yes, this is why you render image sequences. It's because if it fails, then you don't lose the whole thing and you can just pick up where you left off. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this to the other computer, and I'm going to do that by, this is the file path, and I hate you underscore packed, because I'm going to go up to file, if it'll let me, external data, pack resources, and now all of the images and such are packed into the Blender file. So if I save it, now if anybody opens this up, they have all the textures and everything like that. Okay guys, well this has been really fun. I'm gonna go maybe watch a movie. And yeah, cheers. Thank you all for sticking around for this. This was really fun, and I'll definitely be doing this more. So cheers. Have a great night, y'all. Yeah, be kind to yourselves. All right, good night.